Hold on to your hats. The Atlantic is once again churning with potential, and not everyone is prepared for what may come next. Tropical Storm Erin is steadily strengthening in the central tropical Atlantic, following a path that many meteorologists might call a classic journey toward the northwest Atlantic over the coming week. Here's the twist that catches everyone off guard. While Erin may completely bypass making landfall, vast stretches of the coastline could still be pounded for days by powerful waves, dangerous surf, and rip currents. And Erin could pass close enough to Bermuda to keep nerves rattled for a while. In fact, concerns escalated to the point that by Thursday afternoon, a tropical storm watch was issued for the northeastern Caribbean islands, including Anguilla, Barbuda, St. Martin, St. Barthélemy, Saba, St. Eustatius, and St. Martin, as Erin's projected path raised the possibility of storm-force winds brushing these communities. As of 11 a.m. EDT on Thursday, August 14th, Erin was located roughly 900 miles east of the northern Leeward Islands, tracking west at 17 miles per hour. The storm's sustained winds climbed to 60 miles per hour, up from 50 miles per hour earlier that morning and 45 miles per hour on Wednesday. The first Hurricane Hunter mission was set to take off Thursday night to gather critical data. At this stage, Erin wasn't yet a sprawling behemoth. Tropical storm force winds extended only about 60 miles outward. But, and this is key, its circulation is expected to broaden and the storm to intensify further, particularly as Erin picks up latitude and starts curving to the north early next week. But here's where the real debate begins. Just how strong could Erin become? Erin's intensification, the science and the stakes. Satellite imagery and meteorological data indicated a vigorous core of showers and thunderstorms clustered near Erin's center, and more convection was popping northward. Signs of strengthening were everywhere. Upper-level winds were smooth enough to allow Erin to ventilate and grow, a hallmark of powerful tropical cyclones. The National Hurricane Center, NHC, projected Erin would reach hurricane status by Friday and continue strengthening over the weekend. High-resolution computer models like HWRF, HMON, HAFS-A, and HAFS-B were overwhelmingly pointing to ongoing intensification. Several environmental ingredients are fueling Erin's power-up. While moderate wind shear aloft could crank up somewhat this weekend, it's anticipated to drop back down to light to moderate levels, 5 to 15 miles per hour, early next week. The atmosphere's moisture is on the rise too, with mid-level humidity expected to climb from about 55% to 65% by Monday, a key factor for tropical storm growth. And pay attention to ocean temperatures. Waters under Erin are warming from around 28 degrees Celsius, 82 degrees Fahrenheit, up to 29 to 30 degrees Celsius, 84 to 86 Fahrenheit by Sunday, which is an astonishing 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above the norm for August in this region. According to scientific analysis, elevated temperatures like these have become up to 100 times more likely due to human-driven climate change. This point is contentious and sparks heated conversation. How much blame should we apportion to man-made warming for today's tropical storm threats? Given these conditions, meteorologists see a good chance that Erin could briefly undergo what the NHC calls rapid intensification. That is, the storm's wind speed jumping by at least 35 miles per hour within 24 hours. On Thursday afternoon, the ship's statistical model put the odds of Erin gaining 55 knots of strength, about 63 miles per hour, over a 48-hour period at 27%, nearly 5 times higher than the climatological average. Forecast models show Erin bursting past the benchmark for a major hurricane, reaching Category 3 with top sustained winds of 115 miles per hour by Sunday, and may be flirting with Category 4 status by Tuesday. But, and here comes the controversial bit, should we trust these models entirely, given how unpredictable storms can be? The projected path, should anyone relax? Erin's movement right now is guided by a robust ridge of high pressure to its north, nudging it westward. However, the western edge of this ridge is forecast to fizzle gradually, which should let Erin veer more to the north as time goes on. This trajectory likely keeps the core of the storm just north of the northern Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. For those anxious about vicious winds, this is a sliver of good news. These islands will likely sit on the weaker, less dangerous side of Erin. Accordingly, the chance of enduring sustained winds stronger than gale force, 39 miles per hour, is estimated between 20 and 30% as the storm passes this weekend. Still, there's no room for complacency. The National Weather Service in San Juan is warning of high rip current risks along beaches facing north and east, while waves of 8 to 12 feet could batter local waters from Saturday night through Monday. Most ensemble forecast models show impressive agreement that Erin will thread a near-perfect path to minimize impacts on land. A dip in upper-level atmospheric pressure over maritime Canada early next week should further help steer Erin away. Only a handful of models suggest Erin might wander far enough west to threaten the Bahamas or the southeast U.S., but these scenarios are considered long shots. Still, they're reason enough to keep watching in case the consensus shifts. But here's what no one can ignore. Coastal hazards are inevitable. No matter how gracefully Erin avoids direct landfall, experts agree that widespread heavy surf, robust coastal waves, and dangerous rip currents will strike north and east-facing beaches from the Leeward Islands to the Greater Antilles, spreading into the Bahamas, the eastern U.S., and even Canada by early next week. This is the sleeper threat most people underplay. Yet past storms have proven again and again how lethal rip currents and high surf can be, even hundreds of miles from the storm's center. Meanwhile, a disturbance brews in the Gulf, déjà vu or a quick fizzle. On another front, meteorologists were eyeing a disturbance, Invest 98L, in the western Gulf of Mexico and Bay of Campeche. By midday Thursday, showers and storms were spreading, hinting that this weak area of low pressure might organize just enough to become a tropical depression or maybe even a weak tropical storm before making landfall in northeast Mexico or far southern Texas by late Friday. Forecasters warned of several inches of local rainfall near the coast. However, an airborne reconnaissance mission found no organized surface circulation at last report. That said, the National Hurricane Center gave this disturbance a 40% shot at developing before coming ashore. Should it get a name, it would be Fernand. This scenario is reminiscent of Tropical Storm Barry just last June, which formed barely 130 miles off Veracruz, quickly intensified, and hit near Tampico with